I married someone who doesn't talk nearly as much as I do, and that's what creates for a really healthy, wonderful relationship. I talk so much, all day long I talk. Like imagine having two of me, that's too much. No one needs that.
Mila, you've had a decades-long acting career. If it weren't for acting, what's the one thing you would have pursued?
I have no other skills. This is it, guys. This is it, okay? People are like, what are your hobbies? I was like, this is my hobby. My hobby turned into my career. I started this when I was 9 as a hobby. And then at 18, when I deferred from college, I was like, this is gonna become my career. And here we are, 24 years after I decided to make it a career. And I still don't have a new hobby.
You make money off of your hobby. That's
I'm
great.
so lucky and so fortunate. You will never hear me complain.
Is it true that you told the That 70s Show casting directors you were 18 when you were only 14?
Once it happened. I mean, I started when I was 9, right? So at 9, you audition for anything and everything. But it was at a time where it didn't really matter what you were, how old you were. It was just kind of like, you just auditioned to see what would happen. So I wouldn't say that was my first exaggeration that I gave in an audition.
What are some other exaggerations?
Oh, in today's culture, I'm not telling you them. People would come after me. It would be like a witch hunt. No.
You played Jackie Burkhart for 8 seasons.
I love you, Jackie Burkhart.
I love you too, Michael Kelso.
What's the one thing you and Jackie have most in common?
I was gonna say we ended up with the same guy, but that's not the case. Who did I end up with? Oh yeah, so we ended up with the same guy.
When you and your now husband, Ashton Kutcher, reconnected all of those years later, was there one moment where you realized something had changed?
The second that we reconnected. Like, it's such a weird thing to put into words, but we didn't see each other for probably 3 to 5 years, right? Like, we always kept in touch, so we always checked in, and then we ran into each other at an award show, and we both thought the other one was cute.
Is there one person in your lives who saw it coming before you did?
No. And if anybody ever goes and says that they saw this coming, they are a filthy liar. My parents were in shock. Like, I was in shock. There was no version of this where someone at one point said, oh yeah, I always knew. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, there's no way.
And then you two become parents.
I know.
What is the one thing about raising kids that instantly humbled you?
What's the one thing about raising kids? Just kids humble you. Just the general notion of a human, a tiny human.
Was there one real moment from your own parenting that slipped into your character on Bad Moms?
Nothing yet, because my kids were too little. I had one on the first one, and she was a baby, so I didn't fail yet. You know what I mean? I mean, I've had minor fails, but it wasn't like detrimental. I didn't have to like start a piggy bank for therapy. Also, I have to think back about that movie. I have guilt over everything, regardless, and then you become a parent, then you have mom guilt over everything all the damn time. It's like the worst. So maybe that played into it.
I can relate to guilt about everything, to be fair.
You think that you've had enough guilt, then you have a baby, and you're like, ugh.
What's the one job you're proudest of?
I mean, I'm a great daughter. I think, simply put, I actually really like my parents. I like my parents.
Speaking of family, you voiced Meg Griffin on Family Guy for decades. Was there one note from the show's creator, Seth Macfarlane, that completely changed how you delivered a line?
It used to be, slow down. I spoke a little fast. And so I think in my audition process, and it's probably a better question for Macfarlane, but I think he kept telling me, slow down, slow down. And I was like, okay.
Do you still think you talk a little fast?
Yeah. Did you just giggle? I've slowed down, but I think I've just always had a lot of energy, and I like talking.
Is there one thing you love most about Meg Griffin?
Well, I think she tries hard. This character's been around for 20, I don't know, 5 years? You know, she's barely 19, so she ages really slow, and I admire that about her the most. And I think she's got a pretty good sense of humor. I just hope the show goes on and on and on for the rest of my life. It's the greatest gig ever.
Let's talk about Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Was there one co-star who made you break character the most?
It was Jason, but now I don't even know if I can talk about what made me laugh the most about it. Russell Brand would go on really funny tirades. Like, he would just like improv for hours on end, and they would just become funny because oftentimes it would just be nonsense towards the end. And Segel would take it upon himself to ensure that you break off camera. Like, that was his hobby.
What's the one thing Forgetting Sarah Marshall did for your career that you didn't see coming at the time?
Oh, it got me Black Swan.
Watch the way she moves. Sensual. She's not faking it.
I know that was when Darren first saw me, so I would say it changed a lot. Also, back in the day, once you were on TV, you were only on TV. And then it became a thing of like, well, then how are you going to go do film or vice versa? It was Judd at the time who I think just started hiring actors regardless of where they came from. So I will forever be grateful to Sarah Marshall.
What was the one part of Black Swan that was generally the hardest for you?
Nothing's hard in your 20s. Like, I'm sorry, nothing's hard. Like, in this regard, I'm sure there's things that are hard, don't like come after me. But like, I had all the time in the world. I was young, I had all the energy in the world. It was really fun and it was exciting to do. Truly, I would never look back and say anything was hard. Challenging, maybe. Hard, no.
What's one memory you have working with Natalie Portman on that set?
The movie was gonna get made and then it lost all its money. I wanna say like the day before production. And so then Darren was like, oh, just kidding, you have more time to practice. And I was like, oh God, thank God. And one of the times I had to go to rehearsal and it was Mikhail Baryshnikov was just dancing in the same studio as we were. And I remember both of us going, wow, I'm not going, you go. Like neither one of us wanted to practice next to or around him because I'm clearly not about, like I was nowhere near it and I felt so like, he's gonna judge everything. And that is a brand new memory that I just remembered.
You're now starring in the newest Knives Out movie, Wake Up Dead Man. What's the one reason you took that role?
Oh, being a fan of the franchise. That was pretty simple though. Like that's one of those where I heard somehow that they were doing the third one. Oh, I think my agent called and was like, they're doing the third one. I was like, I don't care, I'll just be in it. First one goes, you don't have the movie yet. And he's like, read the script. And then to read the script, it's like Mission Impossible. There is no script. They send you an iPad. The iPad has like a lock and key behind it. It's a whole process. So then you read this thing and you're like, yeah, great. I don't even understand what it's about. I don't need to understand. I just want to be in it because I'm just a fan of the franchise.
And you were in this with Daniel Craig, Josh O'Connor, Glenn Close. Was there one person who totally changed the vibe when they walked onto set?
The first 2 weeks, it was just Daniel Craig and I and Josh O'Connor. And going into it, Ryan sets the tone, the director sets the tone, and then after the director is very much the number one on the call sheet. And so Daniel's could be a horrible human and you don't know how this is gonna go and transpire. And so the second you walked on the first day, you were like, oh, this is gonna be great. So I would say Daniel Craig has a lot of influence on it and he's an incredible person to work with.
You've had every kind of red carpet moment. Is there one outfit or phase you still laugh at when you see old photos?
I'm sure if you showed me them, I would be mortified. I've never looked back and I don't have social media. So I don't get reminded of the things that happened 20 years ago or 5 years ago or 2 days ago. So I don't live in that, but I'm sure, God forbid, somebody shows me things because nobody had a stylist. Dating myself. But when you're like 14, 15, 16, 17, back in the day, and you would have to do press, you procured your own outfits. You didn't have a stylist. I was on Melrose, like, buying clothes. Oh, it was awful.
Is there one reason you don't have social media?
I think I was under a rock, and then it was too late. Like, I don't know. This is not a statement. This isn't one of those things where I'm like, I put my flag down, and I was like, meh. I just never did it. And then it became a thing of, I don't want to do it.
Is there one thing about fame that still feels weird to you?
The whole thing is weird, but I'm not like opposed to it, against it. I'm not awkward about it, but I think it's crazy that people know my name.
A lot of people know your name. Yeah.
I know, I think it's weird. I think it's weird and it never gets old. And I think it's weird.
What's the one thing you would tell your younger self before she walked into her first audition in LA?
Nothing. Whatever I did fine. Like, I don't need to go back and change anything because clearly I was fine. I don't need, that's it, I was fine. The less you know, the better off you are. Like, what a great life I've had. I didn't expect anything, I was just along for the ride. Can I have my mint now?
You can have it anytime you want.
See, now I can have my sticky hands.